inside of the truck. I'm going to close the door. And we're going to make sure that our seatbelt is properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts need to be present and tight. We're going to make sure that our seatbelt is not cut, torn, or frayed. And we're going to buckle the seatbelt, unbuckle it, and buckle it again to make sure it's working properly. And we'll keep our feet flat on the floor. We'll perform what we call a safe start. Feet flat on the floor. We're going to pull on both brakes to make sure that they're properly engaged. And we're going to make sure the truck is in neutral. We're going to then turn the key to the on position. Once we turn the key to the on position, our gauges are going to sweep and settle, and our ABS light is going to come on and go off within 3 to 5 seconds. Then we're going to turn our headlights on, and then we're going to go ahead and cut the truck on. Now, some instructors will tell you that you don't have to cut the truck on yet. I prefer to cut the truck on now so that my air pressure is building while I'm talking. So, I will start off with my fuses. I have one extra fuse for every fuse in the truck. It's going to be located either above me or in my glove box. I have 2 fire extinguishers. One is located to the left of my driver's seat, one is located to the right of my passenger seat. They are both properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and tight, and they are red in color. They are ABC rated, and they should be fully charged. I know they're fully charged because the yellow arrow will be inside of the green area. They have a rubber hose with no abrasions, bubbles, cuts, and dry rot, therefore it's not leaking, and they should have a locking pin in the lock position. Behind me, I should have 3 DOT triangles in a red box. Those DOT triangles need to be properly mounted and secured, not cracked, chipped, or broken. All bolts present and tight. They should be clean, clear, free of any debris, and they should stand on their own when they are properly assembled. And I have my mirrors and my windshield. My mirrors are going to be properly mounted and secured, not cracked, chipped, or broken. All bolts are present and tight, and they are going to be set to me, the driver. I also have my windshield. My windshield is going to be properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and tight, and the windshield should be clean, clear, and free of any debris with no illegal stickers. I have my windshield wipers and the wiper arms. They're properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and tight. The wiper blades have a rubber blade with no abrasions, bubbles, cuts, and dry rot, and they should be flush to the windshield. I will activate them to make sure that they work and squirt. And I see that they work and squirt. Then I will check my indicators. My right turn signal indicator, my left turn signal indicator, my high beam indicator, and my 4-way flashers. All my indicators are working properly. I will now check my thermostat, my climate control, and my defrost by turning it all the way up, turning the heat all the way up, turning it to the man in the window or the man in the jail cell. I will place my hands above me to see if I feel heat from my defrost, heat from the side defrost, and see if I feel heat below me on the floor. Once I do, I will turn everything back to where it was, and that will indicate that my climate control and defrost are working properly. Now, I will check my steering wheel. It should be properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and tight. 20 inches in diameter, and it should have no more than 2 inches of play to the left or to the right. I'll check my horns. My city horn and my highway horn are all working properly. Now, I will talk about my gauges. My gauges are my oil pressure, my depth tank, battery voltage, my air pressure, and my water temperature. My oil pressure should be between 30 and 60 psi. My depth tank should never go below 1/8 of a tank. My battery voltage should be between 12 and 15 volts. It's currently at 14.1 or 14.0. My air pressure should be between 120 and 140 psi, and my water temperature should be between 180 degrees and 190 degrees. Now, I've covered my fuses, my fire extinguishers, my triangles. I've covered my mirrors, my windshield wipers, my wiper blades, my wiper arms. I've covered my indicators. I've covered my climate control. I've covered my steering wheel, my gauges, my horns, and my seat belt. I will now begin my tug service sneeze. During my tug service sneeze, I'm going to check my brakes to make sure that they're working properly. First, I'm going to push my yellow one in, and I'm going to check the trailer brakes are working properly. I'm going to put my foot on the brake, put the truck in drive, and I'm going to attempt to pull the truck forward. The truck did not go anywhere, so I know my trailer brakes are working properly. I'm going to put the truck back in neutral and pull the brake. You always want to do a neutral parking brake when the truck should be sitting still. Now I'm going to push my red one in, and I'm going to check my tractor brake. I'm going to put my foot back on the brake again, and I'm going to put the truck in drive. I'm going to try to pull forward. And because the truck rocked from side to side, I know that my tractor brakes are working properly. Again, foot on the brake, truck in neutral, and I will pull the red brake out. Now I'm going to perform my service brake test, where I'm going to pull the truck forward, and I'm going to try to get up to 5 miles per hour, and I'm going to come to a hard stop. The purpose of this is to make sure that the brakes do not cause the truck to steer to the left or to the right. I will push the yellow one in, the red one in, and I will put the truck in drive. Hovering my hands above the steering wheel, I will hit the horn to make sure it's safe, and I will try to pull forward at the 5 miles an hour and stop. Okay, now that I know that my truck did not pull to the left or to the right, I know that my service brakes are working and adjusted properly. I will put the truck in neutral, but I will not pull my brakes out. I shall put my feet back flat on the floor, and I will now begin my sneeze test. My sneeze test is to check my air governor cutout valve. Now, during my sneeze test, I will put my foot on the gas and I will rev my RPMs up to 1100. One thing that I will note is that my RPMs will not go above 1100 as long as both of my brakes are pushed in. My foot is flat to the floor and my RPMs do not go above 1100. If any of these brakes were pushed out or pulled out or disengaged, my RPMs would show. So my truck is letting me know that I'm performing the next step of my test properly because it will not let me go past 1100 RPMs. I'll now be quiet and listen for my sneeze. Also, something that you guys can note, you can talk while you're doing this test because your sneeze is usually going to happen somewhere between 100 psi and 150 psi. So if you're watching your gauges while you're talking, then you should be able to know when to stop talking because it should stop somewhere around 125 psi. My air governor cutout valve was working properly because I heard my truck make my sneeze. Now, I will turn my truck off while leaving my brakes pushed in and the truck in neutral, and I will turn the key back to the on position. My ABS light again will come on and go off within 3 to 5 seconds, and now I will begin my applied brake test. During my applied brake test, I should not lose more than 4 psi within 60 seconds of applying my foot to the brake. I shall now begin by putting my foot on the brake. And I will now set a timer for 60 seconds, and I should not lose more than 4 psi within that 60 seconds. I will now begin. Alright, 60 seconds has passed and I did not lose more than 4 psi during that time, so I will remove my foot from the brake. Now I will perform the L in the ALS, which is my low air alarm indicator test. In my low air alarm indicator test, I will pump the brake or fan the brake until my low air alarm indicator comes on. It should come on at or before 55 psi. I will now begin. As I can see, my low air alarm indicator is working properly because it came on at or before 55 psi. Now I will begin the last part of my ALS, which is my spring brake test. During this test, I will pump my brake and the spring brake should pop out between 40 and 20 psi. I will begin by pumping the brake and I will now start. Okay, so I know that my spring brakes are working properly because they engaged between 40 and 20 PSI. Note that this brake didn't pop out all the way because it needs to be lubricated. So now I will turn my 4-way flashers on, and I will ask the examiner to assist me in checking my lights. We will get out of the truck and we will walk around and check all of our lights. Our headlights, my 4-way flashers, my clearance lights, my marker lights on the side of the door, my lights underneath the trailer behind the rear of the tractor, my marker lights on the side of the trailer, my clearance lights, all of my lights on the rear of the trailer, including my running and brake lights and my running lights, my tag light, my clearance lights, and I will make sure that all of my lights are working properly. Before the examiner and me get back in the truck, I will ask them to assist me in checking my brakes. I will get back in the truck using 3 points of contact, and I'll put my foot on the brake, and the examiner will give me an acknowledgement that my brakes are working, and I'll remove my foot from the brake. If I have not missed anything that I can think of, I will tell them that this concludes my end cap when they approach the truck. If I have passed, they will tell me to turn on the truck and begin my maneuvers after I build air pressure. This concludes BT.